Hello, losers, cool beans, and other lovable weirdos, and welcome back to some more Mycorrhiza. We have a totally not suspicious abandoned building to go into and explore at the recommendation of our totally not suspicious and definitely only helpful new friend. What could go wrong? This place made me feel uneasy. I didn't want to stay here any longer than I had to. Not only was I afraid that everything would come down on our heads any minute. Valid concerns. Gotta be wary of rundown buildings. I can only imagine what could lurk in these abandoned halls. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I didn't blame her for wanting me to go first. Not the thought I'm thinking, buddy, but yeah. After climbing a set of stairs, May spoke up again. It should be the door at the end of this hall. What do you mean should be? I saw the door she was referring to. It was probably the only door in the entire building that wasn't damaged. Imagine that. The clean coat of paint was an eerie contrast in the ravaged environment. And the one living there can help me? No reply. I turned around and saw nothing. Gasped. May disappeared again. May was gone. Again. She could have at least said goodbye. Now I'm just sort of wondering if maybe she's getting... Well, either getting involuntarily or voluntarily has the power to go between the doors. And whenever she disappears randomly and us here is when she's popping up in another door. I walked up to the door to knock, but it was already open. Maybe I had the wrong door after all. Yet May had seemed certain. She said should be. That wasn't certainty. That was ominous vagueness. What should I do? Enter the apartment. Take a look around the building. Oh, obviously we're going to take a look around the building. I shouldn't barge into a stranger's home like this. The door being open didn't mean that I could just enter. Yeah, we might be in a horror scenario, but we still have, common decency. My eyes wandered around the hallway, scanning it for anything notable. Maybe I could wait for them outside. I had noticed that the air in here felt oddly heavy. I made my way back down the hallway when I heard some noise from the ground floor downstairs. Was it another tenant? Maybe they could help me. I wasn't very hopeful, considering how badly it's been going so far, but it was worth a shot. Slowly I creeped down the stairs. I could make out a rhythmic, squishy sound that was getting louder and louder. An uneasy feeling was starting to set in my stomach. Really? Only just starting, huh? As I reached the bottom of the stairs, I saw a red trail on the ground. At this point, I'm just expecting abandoned apartment building, backrooms vibes with delightful monster. Blood. It must be blood. It led into an apartment. Its door was wide open. My feet froze. The sound was getting louder, more frantic. I needed to get out of this building. Something horrible was happening in there. But to get to the exit, I had to pass by that door. Past the blood trail. I considered going back up, but then I would be stuck in a dead end. My feet slowly started to move down the last couple of steps. Whoever, or whatever, was in that room couldn't notice me. Who knew what would happen to me if they did? The squishing became louder and louder the closer I got. Before long, I was standing right by the open door. The nameplate next to it read Frederick Steiner, a name that seemed oddly familiar. Oh, I considered quickly running past, but my curiosity overwhelmed me. I peeked in. I'm going to assume Frederick's tried getting funnier then from last time. The room was almost pitch black. The sole window barely let any light through. I saw a rhythmic movement in the middle of the room. Someone was hunched over something. As the person lifted their hand once again, I saw a metallic glint in the light. They were holding a knife. They were stabbing someone, over and over again. Listen, Pyramid Head's giant sword kind of counts as a knife, okay? It's the closest I've got. And, you know, it's mini, so it totally counts. This is where Pyramid Head then gets me. Anyway, the techniques in the book are too simple. I don't have time for these childish games if I want to be as funny as the most hilarious one. Now I'm just like, is this taking cult of personality to a humorous new level? Taking from the face? Nonsense. Why just the face? There's so much missed potential. This is exactly what my studies have been leading up to. She just doesn't get it. But I do. I'll show her what it means to be funny. They were whispering to themselves in a gurgling voice. I had no idea what they were talking about. They must have gone mad. I stepped away, ready to leave this building for good. But my foot slipped on the wet blood. I managed to catch myself and avoid falling, but I couldn't avoid making a sound. The movement inside the room suddenly stopped. Silence. Then their head slowly turned my way. You appear to have a hand growing out of your forehead / eye socket / former eye socket, Frederick. Are you grafting pieces of you? That makes sense. Why take only from the face? You're taking other body parts and moving things around, and you have some delightful fungi hitchhikers. And a potential, intestine scarf? Hilarious, good sir, hilarious, yes. Who's there? The person frantically shook their grotesque head around. It seemed like they couldn't see me past all of the face modifications. The various body parts fused with their skin wiggled like worms crawling out of their head. Is that you, Sabrina? Have you come to your senses? Have you finally realized this is the only way to make an actually funny face? Look at me. Soon I will be the most hilarious one. And then... His breathing was getting even heavier than before. They went back to dismantling the body in front of them. Oh, are they dismantling someone else's body or their own body? Because I have questions. I was safe. They really couldn't see me. I was safe. Let's not get too optimistic just yet. Trying not to make a sound, I stepped over the bloody trail and very cautiously made my way towards the exit. Can you say, we want to save after that? I definitely didn't want to get caught. Nope. Soon I was in front of the exit door. I could finally get out. But just as I was about to grab the handle, a sudden wave of fatigue came over me. It was as if I had stepped into a veil. The air had gotten heavier, and my breathing became more ragged, just like when we tried to escape from the pupper. I clutched my chest as I tried to figure out what was going on. A throbbing pain pulsed through my arm. It was as if something had stabbed me. I tried to turn around, but I had already become too weak. Oh boy. The blurry effect's very good. My feet gave in, and my vision darkened. I could feel a presence near me. The person from the apartment? Before I could find out, my consciousness faded. Okay, here we are, back at our important choices. Let's see what happens if we enter the apartment. Perhaps they forgot to lock the door. Yeah, sure, totally it. Nothing else. Nothing else could go wrong. Or May had already notified them that we were coming and they left it open for us. You never know. Totally reasonable option. Yeah. I gave the door a soft push. Hello? No reply. It was a very small apartment. The door opened to the living room, which seemed to double as the bedroom. A single corridor led to 2 more rooms, likely the bathroom and the kitchen. Just like the door itself, everything looked way too clean and tidy compared to the hallway outside. I stepped in and peered through a window, hoping to spot this person that I was supposed to meet. Everything looked normal from up here, but I knew that wasn't the case. Something was wrong with this town, and I was trapped here. Would I ever be able to return home? I had people who relied on me. Would my team at the lab manage without me? Buddy, I'm starting to think you're maybe in the lab, but not on the side of the side of the clipboard you want to be. I tore myself away from the window. Oh. This wasn't the time to think about that. I should be concentrating on finding a way out. Okay, well, first instinct, terrible idea, but let's be nosy. Check the pictures. I took a look at the pictures hanging on the walls. Most of them were paintings that depicted nature. Only a few of them were photographs. One with a note scribbled onto it caught my eye. It depicted a man and a woman having a picnic. The note said Sabrina and Frederick, BFF. It seemed like one of them was living here, or maybe both. At the very least, I would now be able to recognize the tenant once I see them. The surface of the desk was crammed with beauty products. A single mirror was standing amongst them. A small book was buried beneath the clutter. Book. I moved the small bottles aside and picked up the book underneath. The cover depicted a mask with a distorted facial expression. The title read, The Art of Humor. I flipped through it. It was apparently a guide by the most hilarious one that explained how to make funny faces. But the pictures in the book were more disturbing than humorous. One description of a technique caught my eye. Finally, we arrive at addition. Like removal, this is a very risky technique, reserved only for the cream of the crop. It may sound simple, though. All you have to do is add and never stop. Search for features that are a disgrace to facial humor, then take them for yourself and pair them off. The person might even thank you for all your help with removal. I glanced at the pictures beside the text and shook my head in disgust. I started skimming through it quickly, and sure enough, it was full of similar depictions. On the very last page, I came to a sudden stop. There was a key taped to it. Did the key come with the book, or did the owner of the book hide it in here? Oh well, it didn't matter to me anyway, since I didn't know what door the key was for. But, I want the key. I placed the book back the way it was before. Desk again. The mirror, not forged though. My own reflection peered back at me. That is terrifying. I looked like I had aged a decade. My lack of sleep had really done a number on me. Not to mention all these strange occurrences today. If I ever get out of this, I'll need a long vacation, I thought. As I looked in the mirror, a newspaper page hanging on the wall behind me caught my eye. I approached it and skimmed it in case it had any hints on what was going on in this town. But I was unfortunately wrong. This issue of Kejamhith News, as the paper was called, was several years old. The subheading read, "A rising new artist has wowed the judges at the Kejamhith Art Competition. We can't wait to see her next work. She has a bright future ahead of her," one of the judges said. The article didn't seem to be important to my current situation, and I couldn't see any more newspaper snippets around. Disappointed, I averted my gaze and took another look around the room. Suddenly, I heard a sound outside the apartment. I hastily slipped inside a closet and carefully pulled it shut, which is a good horror technique, but if you think you're just here to, meet someone and they might be expecting you, this is a bit weird. I wasn't sure why I was hiding, but I had an awful feeling in my guts. Trust the guts. Finding a stranger standing in your apartment probably wouldn't be something someone would take in stride. I have a tiny weapon and I'm not afraid to use it. Oh. Then again, finding one in your closet would be even worse. We're not really making this any better for ourselves, are we? I watched through slits in the door as they entered the apartment. They stopped in the entryway and took a look around the room. Was this the tenant? Shadows were obscuring part of their body. I strained my eyes, trying to see what they looked like. But what I saw made me cover my mouth to suppress a gasp. You seem to have a face attached to your face. The woman's face was ravaged. Fleshy chunks clung to her forehead. Were those face parts? Tisk tisk, forgot to close the door again. She spoke to herself and moved as if nothing was wrong. But her face... it was horrendous. She walked up to the mirror. This looks so much better, just like in the book. I should check the text again. I may have missed something. She picked up the book that was lying on the desk and flipped it open. I see. I need more. Yes, I definitely need more. She looked back to the mirror and caressed her disfigured face. She backed towards the exit and left the apartment. Her eyes never left the mirror. I remained frozen in the closet for a few more minutes. My heart slowly calmed itself. Once I was sure that she was really gone, I stepped out. I needed to get myself as far away from this building and this town as fast as I possibly could. As I was about to leave the apartment, a sudden wave of fatigue came over me. It was as if I had stepped into a veil. The air had gotten heavier, and my breathing became more ragged. I clutched my chest as I tried to figure out what was going on. A throbbing pain pulsed through my arm. It was as if something had stabbed me. I tried to turn around, but I had already become too weak. My feet gave in, and my vision darkened. I could feel a presence near me. The women? May? Before I could find out, my consciousness faded. The most hilarious woman! Yay, endings! I'm kind of impressed how swiftly I ran into those endings, but I don't doubt there's plenty more to uncover in there. However, all the fun little extra adventures we could have. What else? What is in the other rooms in this apartment? How do I get to take the key? What happens when I actually redo the third door on this computer and I get all the keys? What other secrets await? What is the actual ending of endings? That's all, for next time, and maybe next time, depending how much more there is. Until then, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, feel free to check out my channel, like, subscribe. I have a variety of horror content. And otherwise, I hope you're having a better day than anybody's face in this door, because nobody's face is safe. Someone might come along and scoop your face and shove it on their face, and what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do